President-elect Donald Trump has made a bold promise: the return of federal executions. In a fiery statement delivered on Christmas Eve, Trump declared his intention to vigorously pursue capital punishment, reversing the course set by outgoing President Joe Biden. Trump's declaration has reignited a heated debate about the morality and efficacy of the death penalty in the United States. Trump's stance on capital punishment is not new. Throughout his political career, he has consistently advocated for its use, often framing it as a necessary tool for deterring crime and delivering justice for victims. However, his latest pronouncements carry particular weight, coming on the heels of a controversial decision by President Biden. Trump's vow to reinstate federal executions has been met with mixed reactions. Supporters of the death penalty have lauded his stance, arguing that it sends a strong message to criminals and provides closure for grieving families. Opponents, however, have condemned the move, citing concerns about wrongful convictions and the irreversible nature of capital punishment. Just days before Trump's announcement, President Biden made a significant move of his own, commuting the sentences of 37 federal death row inmates to life in prison without parole. Biden's decision, which came after a years-long moratorium on federal executions, was hailed by death penalty abolitionists as a step towards a more humane justice system. Biden's rationale for the commutations centered on his belief that the death penalty should be reserved for the most heinous crimes. In a statement released by the White House, Biden argued that the commuted sentences were consistent with his administration's policy of limiting federal executions to cases of terrorism and hate-motivated mass murder. The timing of Biden's clemency grants just days before Christmas and the transition of power was widely seen as a deliberate attempt to limit Trump's ability to reinstate federal executions. By commuting the sentences of a significant portion of the federal death row population, Biden effectively raised the stakes for any future attempts to resume executions. The stark contrast between Trump and Biden's approaches to capital punishment reflects a deep ideological divide over the role of the justice system. Trump's stance is rooted in a retributive view of justice, emphasizing punishment and deterrence as the primary goals of the legal system. Biden, on the other hand, espouses a more rehabilitative approach, focusing on redemption and the possibility of second chances. This ideological divide is mirrored in public opinion on the death penalty. While support for capital punishment has declined in recent years, a significant portion of Americans still believe it is a just and effective form of punishment. Victims' families, in particular, often find solace in the idea that their loved one's killer has faced the ultimate consequence for their actions. Opponents of the death penalty argue that it is a flawed and inhumane system. They point to the risk of wrongful convictions, the disproportionate impact of capital punishment on marginalized communities, and the lack of conclusive evidence that the death penalty deters crime. They argue that life without parole is a more humane and just alternative. Trump's vow to reinstate federal executions sets the stage for a renewed battle over capital punishment in the United States. His administration's ability to carry out executions will likely face legal challenges and logistical hurdles. The availability of lethal injection drugs, for example, has become increasingly problematic in recent years, leading to delays and legal battles. Public opinion on the death penalty is also likely to remain divided. While Trump's stance may resonate with his base of support, it is unclear whether it will sway public opinion more broadly. The debate over capital punishment is deeply personal and often intertwined with religious and moral beliefs. The future of the death penalty in the United States remains uncertain. What is clear is that the debate over its use will continue to be a contentious and emotionally charged issue for years to come.